And now, Working Man Radio with your host, Joe Lyles.
Since we are engaging in hypotheticals today, I thought perhaps we might engage in some more hypotheticals. Interesting hypotheticals that tell the story about this case, about everybody in this case. Because I don't know if you've guessed this or not. Everybody's wrong about something in the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman situation. Everybody's wrong about something. If I'm walking down the street and an assailant comes after me, which is not George Zimmerman. See, you don't have to worry about that. George Zimmerman was not the victim. Trayvon Martin did not approach George Zimmerman. Trayvon Martin did not attack George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman was following him. George Zimmerman ran. There's evidence that Trayvon Martin ran away from him and George Zimmerman ran after him. There is evidence that Trayvon Martin tried to retreat to the wall. How does that get turned into George Zimmerman standing his ground? Oh, because he caught up with Trayvon Martin, and when Trayvon Martin, having retreated to the wall, turned around, and what did Trayvon Martin do? Defended himself. It's time for a thought experiment. Time for a thought experiment. Let us imagine that Trayvon Martin, who was unarmed, did not have a weapon. Trayvon Martin, let's suppose he did have a weapon. Let's suppose that Trayvon Martin was packing a .38 in his back pocket. George Zimmerman runs up. George Zimmerman pulls out his gun first. Right? George Zimmerman pulls his gun out first. And Trayvon Martin reaches in his back pocket and pulls out his, blam, 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 and it's George Zimmerman who's on the ground, dead. Would Trayvon Martin have walked free for a month while the police department in Sanford scratched their ass trying to figure out whether he might be guilty of a homicide? What do you think? Or would the police have had him locked up in handcuffs, lickety-split? Would you even know who Trayvon Martin was? Would there be any attention at all to this case? And what would happen? What would happen when this case came in front of a jury for probably first-degree murder? I'm just speculating, but I'm guessing they'd have figured out how it was first-degree murder. What would a jury have done? What would a jury full of liberals have done if Trayvon Martin was on trial and Trayvon Martin had said, I'm standing my ground. I'm not going to retreat to the wall. Conservatives on the jury, white conservatives on the jury, would convict Trayvon Martin anyway. I guarantee you, because conservatives are political. Retreat to the wall is a right for the right people, not the wrong people. And the liberals would convict him because they don't believe in self-defense. Trayvon Martin would be going to prison. He'd already be in prison. Wait a minute. Hold on. There's another thought experiment we can have. We can take the... I mean, that's this case. Of course, you know, Trayvon Martin is in somebody else's neighborhood. Rachel Maddow's Redneck Revenge, a video which you can see right here on YouTube, done by my brother, R. Crosby Lyles. There was a comment in the comment section. The guy in the comment section talks about how, well, what if you'd believe in guns if you had to walk through some bad neighborhood in Detroit or Chicago. Yeah? Really? So if I walk through the wrong neighborhood in Chicago, my life might be in danger because the colored folks there might not like seeing a white boy like me in the wrong part of town. It's terrible, I tell you. Why, a man ought to be able to walk through any neighborhood if he feels like it, unarmed. You'll need a gun to walk through a black neighborhood in Chicago. Right. Kind of like Trayvon Martin could have used a gun walking through the white neighborhood in Sanford. Right? He walked through a white neighborhood in Sanford, and George Zimmerman said, he doesn't belong here. I will just assail him. And that's perfectly okay. We can ask that commenter. So Trayvon Martin should have had a gun while he was walking through the wrong neighborhood. I mean, seriously, if you're black, are there white neighborhoods where you might not want to go walking around? Right? Let's go out in the country and have some black folks showing up in the wrong trailer park where there are only white folks living there. Let's put a black dude in a gated community with a would-be John Wayne neighborhood watch captain. My job is to keep this town safe from who? Colored folks. How safe is it to be black walking through those neighborhoods? And do you see the contradiction? I mean, should I be able to walk through any neighborhood in America? I think so. If I was walking through the south side of Chicago and was assailed by a black dude in his own neighborhood, I'm minding my own business, but I've got one in my back pocket. Will you allow me to defend myself if he attacks me? If I'm black, if my name is Trayvon Martin and I'm walking through a white neighborhood and I'm assailed by a white dude, will you allow me to defend myself, not and stand my ground? No. But see, that's the scandal of the case. But wait a minute. What if I'm Trayvon Martin in my neighborhood, my black neighborhood? I assume, I don't know that he lived in a black neighborhood, but he lived in Miami. I don't know if he lived in a black neighborhood, but let's assume that he did for purposes of this thought experiment. I'm a guy like Trayvon Martin. I'm living in a predominantly black neighborhood, and here comes George Zimmerman walking down the street through my black neighborhood, and I want to know what he's doing here. Is it all right if I follow him, even though the police told me not to? Can I follow him when he runs from me because he's afraid of me, because he's walking through a neighborhood where the people are scary and some dude's following him around, some scary black guy's following him around, and he runs and I run after him. I'm Trayvon Martin now. I'm running after him, and I catch up and he turns around and now he stands his ground. And we get in a fight and I shoot him. But I'm the black guy, Trayvon Martin, in my black neighborhood instead of George Zimmerman in the white neighborhood. And it turns out that George Zimmerman walking in the black neighborhood is unarmed. Told to stay back and let the police handle it. Goes after the black guy, goes after the white guy anyway. They get in a fist fight. The black guy kills the white guy, and it turns out the white guy's unarmed. Same result. Not guilty. How many white folks are sympathizing? I have a cousin who wrote a Facebook about how poor George, he's going to have trouble getting a fair trial because there's a bunch of women on the jury. Seriously. He's not going to get a fair trial. Clearly it was self-defense. Well, if it was Trayvon in a black neighborhood and it was George Zimmerman and he was following George Zimmerman and he killed George Zimmerman in a black neighborhood and George Zimmerman was unarmed, it would not be the same result. And none of the folks defending George Zimmerman would be defending Trayvon Martin. You can believe it.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. You've been listening to Working Man Radio with Joe Lyles at joelylesradio.com.